Diddy gets 50 months. This is an injustice and a travesty. Let me tell you why. I'm going to address the abuse, I'm going to address the law, I'm going to address the race, and I'm going to address his culpability. Number one, his abuse. Over a decade ago, he got into a situation with Cassie, a woman that he spent millions on, a woman that engaged in sex with other men behind his back, relationships with specifically Kid Cudi and many others. A same woman who got $30 million as a result of the abuse. She filed the lawsuit. The next day, he settled out of court. It was clear from her testimony of what was said in trial that he's still in love with her and she's still in love with him, even though she ran off with the trainer that he paid for and having babies for with him right now. So they got into a fight after their toxic relationship over a phone. The video that we saw on television was doctored, but it does not take away Diddy kicking her, punching her, whatever. The issue I have with that is that happened over 10 years ago. Where was the arrest? If she was such a victim, why didn't she go to the police? Oh, signs of abuse, this, and another. Well, she had the culpability to know how to testify. She know how to get $20 million out of Diddy the next day and $10 million from the hotel. She had all these culpabilities when she went broke. That's number one. When it comes to the law, they charged him with RICO, which is generally made for organized crime. He went to court in front of a jury of his peers. In front of that jury, all these women who he took care of financially, who all have lawsuits because of the way he pled out of court so fast with Cassie. Everybody think it's a gravy train. So now they all testify. The jury don't believe any of them. The jury sees how they were the ones setting up the freak offs. They were the one calling. They were the one texting. They were the one having freak offs behind Diddy back with the male escorts that he was paying for. They all lived lavish lifestyle. They all lived in certain homes. They all flew private. They all ate in the best restaurants, was around all the celebrities. Everything that Diddy, a billionaire, was able to afford them. Now, the jury acquits him of that. They find him guilty of the Mann Act. The Mann Act was created for Jack Johnson, a boxer who was the heavyweight champion of the world back in the day, 30s or something like that, 20s or 30s, and he happened to always be in a company of white women. He married a white woman. Society didn't like what they were seeing due to the racism, so they created the Mann Act, which is designated for pimps who take women from town to town to town, but he was the first guy, Jack Johnson, black celebrity, one of the richest and most successful blacks at the time. Tore him down, created law for him, locked him up, and said his wife was a prostitute when they were legally married, in a time where blacks and whites legally couldn't be married. So now, we fast forward to Diddy. He gets a case because, allegedly, everybody's seen what happened with the abuse of Cassie on video. Now, do I condone abuse? I don't think it's abuse when toxic men and women have fights in their relationship on a regular basis. I think it's abuse when a man puts his hand on a woman in an effort for control. But when a woman decides to put her hand on a man, it's defense. But I know that as a society, women can do any and everything when it comes to a man talking about it. When it comes to other women tearing them down, being catty, hating on them, it's just expected. The hypocrisy. So now, in Diddy's situation, he put his hands on her, he kicked her to get his phone back from their regular toxic fight that she testified in trial, that quite often she would just haul off and punch him. The issue at hand is that the women that he got, who was dealing with other men, like 50 Cent baby mother, like Daphne, like this other chick, he never wifed them. He never treated them the way he treated Kim Porter or Young Miami or Mia. He treated them like wives. never had freak offs with them, never did nothing with them. When he saw these women who were acting freaky with him, knowing they was in committed relationships with someone else, those are the women he designated for freak offs. Those are the same women who was texting male escorts saying, I want a freak off. He don't got to know about it. These are the same woman, Cassie, who was having multiple relationships with different wealthy men and rappers and ran off with a trainer that Diddy hired for Cassie, and now is her husband. And now Diddy gave her $20 million and the hotel gave her $10 million because of the tape that she released. So the winner in all this is Cassie, $30 million. So now, when it comes to the law and the Mann Act, he's charged in hiring prostitutes, although the women testified at trial that they always paid the male prostitutes, that they had relationships with the male prostitutes, that they had all communication with male prostitutes. What Diddy is an avid voyeur, somebody that sits down in a corner and enjoys watching other people have sex. Is it illegal? Is it immoral? It's none of my business. How and what people do in the bedroom, I got better things on my mind to do. So, the sad part in this whole situation is he gets found guilty, but nobody ever said he had sex with them. The male escort said he was emphatically against them even looking at him, coming close to him. One of them tried to walk over and touch him, and he was about to get into a physical altercation because he told him, I don't do no men. I don't deal with men. Don't never come at me like that. So then, with Cassie and the other witnesses, all the evidence is supposed to get thrown out because he was found not guilty. Now he's found guilty for the prostitution that he never paid for and never had sex with. But okay, fine. The whole world wants some justification behind the altercation of their toxic fighting relationship. Cool. Does race play a part in this? He never received the bail, although he was willing to put up $50 million, put up multiple homes, parked his private jet, ceased his life, and was willing to wear an ankle bracelet. If he was white, would that have been the same? Okay. Then he goes to trial. He gets found guilty for the lesser offense where anywhere in this nation, if he was caught for prostitution, he would receive probation or a fine. But they kept him in jail because the judge knew, I'm going to serve this guy. I'm going to make an example out of him. Why? Because he can. Because there's not going to be any public outcry. This is a free one. So then, I believe race is always an issue because black people don't take care of black people and black people show hate to black people. And since white people gain from our hatred and profit from our hatred, and many of them hate the idea of anybody having what they have or that somebody would do to them what they did to others, race is always an issue. Lastly, Diddy's culpability. Yo, when you're a billionaire, life is just different. You attract a whole different type of hater when a company like De Leon Vodka owes you $2 billion and you demonstrate that you owe me $2 billion. Now it's up to $5 billion. So if he get a RICO charge, because the FBI is controlled by the president, the same president that Diddy said he's starting his own political party, he planned on buying revolt, and he's doing everything in his power, not to only rock the vote like he helped with Obama getting elected, but to bring Trump down because Trump is at war against black people. All of a sudden, you get a RICO charge. That means you spend the rest of your life in prison. So you sit in a jail. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what it is. It's still jail. Pablo Escobar had hundreds of millions, built his own jail, and escaped because he didn't like the conditions of his own prison that he built. So now, what is Diddy's culpability? My message to you, Diddy, is this. In prison, 3 years, it goes like that. Don't mean you can't lose your life. Don't mean you ain't gonna go to sick call and they give you the wrong medication. Don't mean that you ain't missing your family growing up. Don't mean your kids ain't calling you saying, well, my son told me, Daddy, everybody wants Santa for Christmas. I just want my daddy. Don't mean that you're not going to have some stressful, hard, crazy nights. But what I have to say to you is you got enough time to realize all the drugs you took, all the people you harmed, and you have gotten the ultimate dose of humility. Like all of us who thought we was balling and all of us thought that we was above the law. You got the ultimate dose of humility. What I suggest you do, my brother, right now is find the master plan so that when you're released, your wealth quadruples and you have the ability to go to a foreign nation, live like a king, and don't have to deal with American politics, opinions, or people's swaying of government agencies. Because when you're a billionaire, yes, you have the ability to influence politicians, law enforcement, and everybody else, especially if you're the president. So, is Diddy guilty of what he's going to prison for? Absolutely not. The fact that we are talking about someone going to prison for their sex life is insane in 2026. And all you hypocrites that want to come for me, I want you to think about all the disgusting things you did behind closed doors, all the affairs you had with married people, all the abuse of minors that you engaged in. This man is convicted for having a swinger's lifestyle. Just because you don't relate to the lifestyle, don't make you guilty. So, all your daddy issues, all your mommy issues, all your issues because you broke and can't understand why a rich man is doing what he's doing and thinks somebody owe you something, don't mean it's good enough reason for a man to spend time in prison, especially for some nonsense like his sex life.